my name's Dave. I am racing for Team Canada in the long distance triathlon in Penticton, British Columbia at the end of August. That is an ITU distance, so it's International Triathlon Union. It's in between a half Ironman and a full. It's a 3,000 meter swim, and it is a 120K bike and only a 30K run at the end.
Both of us participated in the race. It was a qualifying event for the 2017 ITU World Championships.
Primarily we train 6 to 7 days a week. So I'll go home and do a 45-minute run, a half an hour run. Yeah, there's always something to do.
When I train with Dave, it's crazy. It's a lot of fun because we're able to spend time together. We push each other in a good way. I try to be as positive as I can. Life's too short. I've sort of already had that with Dave's accident, figuring out that life can be taken away at any time.
I was a pilot for 13 years. I got hurt in an accident back in August of 2003. I got hit in the head by a propeller during the tie-up, which knocked me into the water. I got pulled out of the water. I had a severe head injury, obviously. It didn't knock me out, and they sent out a helijet to pick me up in Port Hardy, and it flew me to Victoria General Hospital. And then within the first few days, they decided to induce a coma, where I was in a coma for 21 days or 20 days.
It's that dreaded phone call you never want to get. Your husband's been injured. I had talked to the doctors in Port Hardy. They had put the phone beside Dave's head, but there was no response.
The induced coma, the function of it is to try and reduce the intracranial pressure, which in turn causes neurological damage. So the idea of an induced coma, which is usually done with barbiturate drugs to basically put someone to sleep in a controlled fashion, it's to reduce the oxygen consumption of the brain.
I think all in all it was about 7 weeks with rehab stuff, exercises, lots of doctor meetings, lots of poking, pulling, twisting, trying to get me to do exercises, etc. Once I was clear of some of the rehab stuff, I did my own rehab because my thought of it was that no one's going to do it for me. So I just went right straight back into going to the gym. And I remember starting there, it was like, you know, for a guy who used to curl, 50-pound dumbbells, I'm in there with 2.5-pound dumbbells now. I think I went from about 215 pounds to 163 pounds, I think, or when I came out of the coma.
Muscle atrophy is when you don't use a muscle, it shrinks. So individuals who are inactive for whatever reason, they're in bed for weeks or months because of an injury, we'll say, their muscles, unless they're being worked, the muscles will simply just start to shrink. And so someone who has what would be considered a normal physique, if their muscles atrophy, then they'll look quite thin.
With the nerve damages I had very limited use of my hands. I used to sit on the couch at night just looking at my thumb, trying to get my thumb to come up because I couldn't get my thumb to go up. So I would just look at it and say, come on, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And Karen would sit beside me, and then all of a sudden I'd get my thumb up and be like, I got it, I got my thumb up.
We just sort of did it together and just learned how to survive what life throws you. And I don't think you realize how strong you are as a person until you have those life events.
I still have limited feeling in my arm from basically here to here, so that'll never come back. So I used to just lay at home under my little blanket because I was injured, watching TV. I'm like, well, I'd rather go do something. I said, can I start running with you guys? And then Karen said, sure. It's my ultimate supportive wife, right?
That was me kind of pushing him a little bit in a get out of the house kind of let's turn the frown upside down kind of thing. And then it just sort of progressed from there.
And then essentially we just got more and more into the triathlon side of it. By the time we hit the summer of 2012, we signed up for Oliver, which is a half Ironman. Went through that first half Ironman, which was like phenomenal. We actually made it through. I did it, and I was pretty happy with myself. And I was like, I don't know if I could ever do a full Ironman. And then it was only weeks later I said, I wonder if there's any open spots for Whistler. Ever since that year, just doing 2 that first year with a half and a full, I've done 3 every year since, I think so. And with another 3 coming up. You have to keep motivated. You've got to keep focused. Who cares what's going on around you? And just, it's all about you. No one else is going to drag you across the line. You have to want it, is basically what it comes down to. You've got to want to finish. And I have never, that I can remember, started something that I couldn't finish, which is probably going back to my head injury thing. Was really difficult for me to give up on flying, because you basically take the hit on the fact that your injury happened because of something you did, and that was really difficult for me. And I really don't know if I'll ever get over it. In my mind, I'm always going to be a pilot because I worked my butt off to get there. However, doing triathlons for me is a stress reliever for work, and it's something that I can focus on and something that I can finish, and I'll always finish.